Hey family, welcome to my channel. If you test positive for HSV1 or HSV2, you are a cousin. So that's why I said, hey family. Today we're talking about the fear of rejection. So if you're new here, let me introduce myself real quick. I am Shana Singleton, also known as the Herpes Goddess and founder of Slay the Stigma. Slay the Stigma is a coaching program where I help women stop their outbreaks and get laid. I'm also the founder of Hey Cousins, responsible for growing the largest herpes awareness platform. Member of the National Coalition of Sex Health, author of several different books, herpes related. I've been researching this virus for the past 7 years now, and I've also been coaching within the space for the past 4 years now. I'm the only person who speaks about this publicly, who actually creates influencers and advocates. That is my magic. I make people feel so comfortable about their virus, they feel compelled to go public about it. So welcome to my channel. Every Monday, I will be dropping a herpes tip. Every Wednesday, I will be educating you a little bit more about herpes. We're going to call it Herpes 101. And every Friday, we're going to slay the stigma. That's right. We're talking about the stigma. And today is Slay the Stigma Friday. So I'm happy and glad to talk about rejection. That is something a lot of people within the community suffer from, right? And I always say that if you come to me and you ask me, hey, Shana, how do I disclose? My response is always going to be, if you have to ask me how to be truthful, if you have to ask me how to be transparent about you, then you might not be ready to disclose. If you fear rejection, then you might not be ready to disclose. Now, a lot of advocates and influencers in the space are going to give you coping mechanisms. But when it comes to my family, my clients, I don't want you to have to cope. I want you to learn how to fully accept this virus for yourself. So you're not seeking acceptance from people outside of you and haven't done the work for yourself. Here's the thing. Rejection and acceptance is going to happen whether you've done the work to accept the virus for yourself or not. But when we haven't done the work to accept the virus for ourselves, when we go out into the dating scene from a place of desperation, lack of self-worth, lack of self-acceptance, we have the tendency to tell our disclosures and cry, boo, I got herpes from this person. We're talking about our exes. We're throwing a bunch of stats at the person. We're telling the person, I completely understand if you don't want to be with me, we can just be friends. We're just disclosing from a place of desperation and lack of self-worth. Well, when you do that, when you put yourself out in the dating scene without accepting the virus, you put yourself out there to be accepted by narcissists and manipulators, people who can sniff out your lack of self-worth, sniff out your lack of self-acceptance, sniff out your lack of self-love. They're attracted to that. They can use that against you. They can tell you who else is going to want to be with you outside of me, right? And then you start to get rejected by people who could probably be good for you. But then when you move into a disclosure from a place of self-acceptance, self-worth, unconditional self-love, like you make your acceptance enough, you start to get rejected by the narcissists and manipulators. They're not attracted to strength. They're not attracted to somebody who knows themselves. So, yes, you can decide to do whatever you want to, but I advise that if you haven't done the work to accept your status, take a break from dating. Learn how to accept this virus for yourself. If you fear the rejection, if you fear the disclosure, use that as a telltale sign that you have not accepted this virus for yourself. Now, let's really get into the fear of rejection and what that is and what that stems from, right? A lot of people in the herpes community believe that if I am rejected, it is because of my herpes. Rejection is a result of my herpes, right? Then they start to believe that rejection means that I am unworthy of love. Rejection means that I am damaged goods. Rejection affirms that I will never find love. Rejection affirms that no one would ever want me. Right? These causes fears such as the fear of humiliation, the fear of shame, the fear of being perceived as imperfect, the fear of not being wanted. And the reactions to these fears is a lot of people in the community do fear-based celibacy because they're too afraid to disclose, because they're too afraid of the rejection. They don't disclose at all, non-disclosure, because they're afraid of disclosure. They're afraid of rejection. They may maintain abusive relationships, toxic relationships, because they fear that no one will ever want them outside of that abusive and or toxic relationship. Some people self-sabotage potential good relationships because of their fear of disclosure, their fear of rejection. And then some people in the complete community are completely delulu and completely block out the fact that they have herpes. Well, here's my theory, right? Rejection hurts because it validates how you truly feel about yourself. And if you can change the way you feel about yourself, rejection no longer hurts, right? In the words of Euphoria, rejection is redirection, right? You have so much faith in who you are and your energy, and you've poured love into you that you start to require it from people outside of you. Example, I don't want nobody who doesn't want me. I'm not attracted to anyone who doesn't want me. I'm not going to choose somebody who's not choosing me. I'm not going to cry over a door I've never seen behind the door, right? You start to have faith in your energy that the universe or God is going to repel from you what is not for you and attract to you exactly who you are. Here goes another theory. I really think the fear of rejection stems from the idea that you are unworthy of unconditional love. Now, when I tell my clients, maybe you don't love yourself unconditionally, a lot of people reject that idea. But listen, hear me out. From the time we are young, right? Our parents, the people who raise us, they praise us for what they deem approved, what they deem worthy, right? They praise you when you do something good. Then they punish you or disapprove of you whenever they deem something bad. Therefore, you grow up seeking the praise and avoiding the disapproval. And you bring this into your adulthood. You seek the praise and avoid the disapproval. By you doing this, by this programming that you've had since you was a child, right? You've only learned how to love yourself conditionally, and you've never learned how to love yourself unconditionally. They say that the things that you hate, disdain, and dislike within yourself were meant to teach you unconditional love. Example, the fact that you test positive for herpes, that's something that you're having a hard time to accept, right? It was meant to teach you unconditional love. Self-love is not just loving all the good in you. Self-love is making room and holding space and showing compassion to the things we're not necessarily proud of when it comes to us, our flaws. That's unconditional love. Learning how to love those things. Again, the things you hate, dislike, and disdain within yourself were meant to teach you unconditional love. If you can make space for those things and show yourself a little bit of compassion and learn to love yourself unconditionally, you'll start requiring that from people outside of yourself. You have then made your acceptance enough, so much so that no one's rejection could hurt you. You're no longer fearing rejection, right? You're just viewing rejection as redirection. This person is just not for me. And I don't want anyone who doesn't want me. I'm not choosing anyone who doesn't choose me. I'm not choosing anyone who doesn't recognize this blessing in front of them. I'm the blessing. I'm the prize. That is the energy you should have for yourself. And if you're struggling to get there, if you don't know how to get there, if you don't know what belief systems are blocking you from get there, hey, Coach Shana here. I help women stop outbreaks, break free from shame, and get laid. That is my magic. That is what I do, and that is what I've done for the past 4 years. If you are searching for more resources, please, please, please subscribe to my channel. Go to the description box below. Get to your resources immediately. Like this video, support is free and your girl needs it. And meet me here every Friday for Slay the Stigma Fridays. Have a good weekend.